Okay, on the last demo, we created a image of Apple by creating pencil drawing and then converting that into pen drawing and then converting that to vector image. But in this demo, I'm going to show you how to create an Apple drawing just using the Illustrator. So you don't have to, you can choose either going to the first route or this route. It's just, whichever you prefer. But this one involves a little bit more techniques with the Illustrator. So before you watch this demo, make sure that you watch the Illustrator Basics demo. So first thing first, we need to create a shape that is an ellipse. So that is similar to the overall shape of this apple right here. So I'm gonna go to right here and right click, and you'll see the ellipse tool right here. So hit that, and I'm gonna create an ellipse. So like that. So right now this is creating this black circle because my color setting is set to fill color black and fill color stroke color none. So we don't want that. We want the fill color to be no fill color. So I'm gonna select that, and then we want the stroke, which is going to be outline, to be black. So now you see this thin black line right here, but we want a little bit thicker line. So we're gonna go to stroke and we're gonna raise it to 10 pixels. 10 points. That might be a little bit too thick. I'm gonna lower it to 8, and that looks like it. So we got this nice looking ellipse, and it looks like we need to make it a little bit fatter. So I'm gonna select this ellipse, and you see these little points cursors. You can click and select and make an adjustment to it, like that. So now we need to alter this ellipse a little bit to create this natural looking shape. So how do we do is we are going to do by using these little anchors. So notice this says anchor right now, this path, and this is anchor. But right now, if I were to select the anchor, it's not going to select the individual anchor because I'm on a selection tool. But if you want to select just the one anchor right here, you're going to have to go to this direct selection tool, and then now you'll be able to select just the one anchor. And now you can just move this around and do whatever you want to do. So I'm just going to do Command Z or Control Z, and then select this anchor, and notice that you got these two handles right here. So most curved elements comes with these handles. So if you were to move it around, it's gonna do crazy things like this, or we can make it fatter like this and all that. So we're gonna use the handles to create this top heavy looking element. Well, okay, so I'm gonna do that, and it's starting to looking like an apple, or at least resemble the shape of this guy. And it's looking more natural. Okay, so it's still not quite there, but still is much better than before. So we want this curved line here. So how do we do that? We gonna have to use the anchors, but we only have 4 anchors. So we're gonna have to add more anchors to it to create these curved lines. So how do we do that? We're gonna go to the pen tool right here, pen tool, but we're gonna right click, and you'll see add anchor point tool. So we're gonna click that, and then we're gonna zoom in, and notice that we have this path right here. We're gonna select a point where we want to create a anchors. So I'm gonna select one right here, select one right here, one right here, one right here. If I were to do that, notice that we have all these anchors now. So I'm gonna select this anchor and start making that curved line. Might be a little difficult, but take your time to do that. Take your time and you'll be able to accomplish this as well. And here I'm gonna this is not easy. This is what I meant by creating vector images. It's a little trickier than creating raster image, but once you do it right, it's gonna be so much easier to work with, believe me. Okay, so it's not quite perfect, but it's there, I'll say. Okay, so that's how you do it. And now next thing we're gonna create this line right here. So how do we do that? Well, this is, since it's just a line, we're gonna come to this line tool right here. So it's called line segment tool, and then create a line like this. And now we create a line, but it doesn't really have any anchors at this point. So, and also the outer shape is really sharp, so we wanna round that up. So how do we round that up? We're gonna have to go to the window panel right here, and then go to stroke, which is right here. And now it doesn't really show anything, but let's go to this hamburger menu right here and select show options, and it'll bring out all these options. But what we want to do is we want to go to this guy right here and then select the second one, round cap. So notice that this changes to round cap. It goes much better with the overall style of drawing that we got going on here. So we're gonna do that, and now we have to make it as a curved line like this. So how do we do that? Well, we're gonna add an anchor point right in the middle. So we're gonna come back to the add anchor point tool right here, and then we're gonna select the very center of it, and now the anchor point is created. So I'm gonna use the direct selection tool, which is this guy right here, and then grab that anchor and then bring it down. And notice right now it's angled anchor point. We want to make it to smooth anchor points. So how do we do that? Is select this anchor right here, and if you're on an Essential Classic environment, there's going to be convert section right here, and there's going to be this convert selected anchor point to smooth. We're going to select that, and now it's created as a smooth anchor point with these two familiar handle that we just been using it. Okay, so voila, we're just gonna extend the handles a little bit, and it's looking good. So I'm gonna go to the direct selection tool, and I'm just gonna position it around here. Okay, so now we have to create this kind of a complicated shape. So easiest way to do, you can also create like your lines and start doing that, but that's gonna take a little bit of time. So easiest way to do is we're gonna go to the pen tool this time. So right click here and select the pen tool. And what we can do is start selecting each point, and Illustrator is gonna automatically connect those points. So it doesn't have to be perfectly correct, because we can always change it after we do this. So I'm just gonna create arbitrary shape like this. Oh, it's looking bad. Okay, and then once you're done, you can always click escape to finish. Right now it doesn't look anything like it, and we're gonna have to clean it up a little bit as well. So less the anchor point is much easier to work with. So I'm gonna delete some anchor points. So to do that, we're gonna come back to pen tool right here, and there's a delete anchor point tool right here. And then obviously I don't want this right here, so erase that. I think 1, 2, 3, 4 is not necessary, and maybe it is necessary, but I'll try to do it with just one. So I'm just gonna erase one. So right now, I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but still it's quite bad. So let's try to smooth it up first. So here, okay, here, boom, right there. This point I want it to be sharp. This smooth, and this part I want it to be sharp as well. Okay, it's kind of confusing right now, so I'm just gonna bring it down here. and then go back to direct selection tool, and like this. As you probably can tell, I'm not that good at drawing or creating a shape with the Illustrator. Like I mentioned, I'm more of a pencil and paper kind of person, but still, some people are really gifted with this, but I just happen to be not one of those. So anyway, okay, so that is looking much better. And now I'm gonna create maybe close this gap. Oh, that is going to be very difficult, but I'm gonna go back to pen tool right here and select the path, and maybe looking like this, and then escape, change this part to like that, and just make it a little nicer like this, and yeah, that's much better. And I'm gonna create another line that goes here to there. So go to pen tool, I'm gonna make sure that it starts from the anchor right here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I might have just gotten away with just 3 anchor points, so I'm gonna delete anchor tool right here, and I'm gonna delete this one. And I'm gonna go to this tool, direct selection tool, make it smooth, and make the handles wider, and voila. Okay, we got the center point. I'm gonna shorten the anchor point a little bit like this. Okay, that's much better. And then we're gonna need that one of those lines. So does it look like this? Okay. So I'm gonna start with from here. Boom, boom, escape. Boom, 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 escape. Boom, 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 escape. More, boom, 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 escape. Escape. Alright, so I'm gonna smooth these up a little bit. Smooth. Convert to smooth. Still, it's a little looking not very natural, so I'm gonna smooth. Smooth. Like this. Okay. It's not too bad, I'll say. So, okay, and right now okay, so each element is separated. So if I were to just select this and then move it around, it's gonna do that. So make sure that you group these together. So to group these, make sure that you select this selection tool right here, and drag and select all this, and right click and then group, or you can just hit Control or Command G to group together. So then I'm gonna drag it and then put it right here, and that's not all bad. I mean, considering that we did all this in Illustrator. So this is how you can convert the pen drawing into the Illustrator. So one advantage of doing this is that it's so much easier to change. It's so much easier to make a modification to the shape. So if I were to select this, notice that this has a lot of anchors. This is practically shape, whereas this is it registers as a path, and a stroke, which means outline, is applied. So this is much cleaner way to do, but at the same time it's kind of hard to get it perfectly. So it's definitely your own choice on whichever you want to do. That is fine. I happen to prefer this method a little bit more, but if you are really thinking about going into the creating animation digitally and all that, you might probably invest a little time and learn how to draw vector image within the Illustrator by using the shape tools and anchors and all that. So alright, so that is how you create a shape only using the Illustrator. Okay, I'll see you guys on the next demo.